Welcome to SI UK India webinar. Thank you for joining us. We are now live with Bangor University. Today we have Linda with us. She will be taking us through this webinar. We will answer all the questions after the presentation during the Q&A session. So let's start the webinar. Over to you, Linda.
Thank you very much. And it's my pleasure to start sharing with you my screen and my slides about our program in tourism management. Okay. So today we're going to talk about tourism management, and we're going to have a look at sustainability and tourism management, how it can enforce sustainability, and what we offer at Bangor University in terms of BSc, a Bachelor in Science in Tourism Management that embeds sustainability into its program. So today's topic will be just very briefly having a look at the current challenges in tourism, what happened in the last few years in tourism and the years ahead. And then we're going to talk about our tourism management undergraduate program, going through the pillars of the program, the career and employability, the learning outcomes, the structure of the program, and the entry requirements. About myself, I'm Linda Osti. I'm Senior Lecturer in Tourism Management at Bangor University within the business school. And I've worked in the past years in developing tourism programs, as well as teaching in tourism programs and tourism management related modules and courses. And I came here to Bangor University specifically to develop this program. So I'm the person who's behind this program and knows the program best. And therefore, hopefully, I will be able to reply to all of your questions afterwards. Let's see the current challenges in tourism. What is happening? We normally tend to go back in tourism to 2019, before COVID, to see what it was before COVID arrived and before the big lockdowns that happened everywhere in the world and then affected tourism. So before COVID, we had, in 2019, we reached and recorded 1.4 billion international tourist arrivals. This is only international tourists, not counting national tourists or domestic tourism. Tourists are those that are moving from their home to the holiday destination within their own countries. There was a 4% increase on the previous year, so from 2018. But it should be said in 2017 and 2018 were records in terms of numbers and again, international arrivals. So those years exceeded even the forecast. At that point, 2017, 2018, 2019, there was a big call for sustainable tourism. World Tourism Organization, as well as tourism boards, as well as national tourism ministries have asked for sustainable tourism to come in to manage tourism in such a way that is providing well-being for the local communities and is not damaging the local environment. Still, tourism was seen as a way for local economies to develop. So tourism has been seen worldwide in developing economies as well as in developed economies as a way to foster and enrich local development. COVID arrived in 2019, 2020, touched every nation in the world, and almost in every nation there was a lockdown related to COVID. And it was a time of reflection. There was this call for sustainability. It has been seen as a moment of reflections and thinking, what can we do with tourism once that it will open up? We've seen that 2022 has been starting again, the call for tourism, and we can see now that in 2023, we are in full recovery and we're going back to numbers that we left in 2019. So we're again in that mode of saying, well, we had the time to reflect on sustainability and we have to reflect on new forms of tourism. Now it's the time to act because we're getting back to the international numbers. And even in 2022, when we reopened the world, reopened on tourism, while we've seen the numbers were still very high, not as high in terms of international tourism, but very high in terms of domestic tourism. So a lot of tourism destinations had to deal with managing national flows, domestic flows of tourism in a sustainable way. So what Bangor University did is taking the time at the beginning, end of 2022 and beginning of 2023 to develop a tourism management program that is creating a workforce that is able to manage and lead tourism in a sustainable way for different types of destinations and different types of tourism companies. So what are the pillars of the program at Bangor University? Number one, it's a Bachelor of Science. So scientifically based science, Bachelor of Science in Tourism Management. We are embedded within the business school. It gives a core knowledge in business and management. So if you're going to enroll in this course, in this program, you will have knowledges, theoretical foundations of business and management with an application into tourism. Quite often we talk about tourism, quite often when talking about tourism, we think about hotels and accommodation services. Now, please, don't forget there is a distinction between managing some tourism businesses, as for example, tourism attractions, and managing hotels. Our program is in tourism management and not into hospitality or accommodation or hotels, restaurant management. Sustainability is the leading theme in the program, and sustainability is embedded in all of the tourism course modules that we have integrated into the program. And when talking about sustainability, we took the triple bottom line approach. That means that we'll discuss not only the economic sustainability, but also the environmental and socio-cultural sustainability for the well-being of local communities. Therefore, this triple bottom line approach will be adopted in every discussion of tourism sustainability. Technology and digitalization is also seen and studied as a way to support sustainability and to create memorable experiences. So we're really attaching how technology and digitalization can support sustainability. In general, we want to offer transferable skills, and those transferable skills will be used by graduates to work in the tourism sector and tourism field with subject-specific knowledge, but also it can be used in other sectors. So our graduates will be able to work for tourism businesses and organizations, but also for businesses and enterprises in other sectors. Tourism is a sector that overlaps with many industry and sectors. So you will see that there will be, when you're going to study the value chain of tourism, you'll see how many companies are coming in and how many of the knowledges that you're studying, once that are applied to tourism, can also be applied or of interest of other sectors. Anyhow, we will provide you with the core fundamentals of business and management. Also, we want to give our graduates all of the knowledge and all of the skills that are needed to proceed with their studies and maybe to go ahead and study at a master or MBA. And you're going to see, I have prepared a slides which what are some of the graduates I taught in tourism management are doing now. And for example, the profile of the student is not there, but at the end, I had a student, she did tourism management. She evolved to a master, she went on to a PhD, and now she's an associate professor in a university in Italy. What is the content and context of our program? So the content is that we worked alongside local companies here in Wales to make sure that we were designing a program that provides all of the needs, all of the skills and knowledge that is needed by the industry. And we worked with the Welsh Mountain Zoo, we worked with Hallam, which is the Anglesey Sea Salt Company, and was very much involved in tourism and developing tourism companies. in Anglesey, North Wales, and we also worked with the Snowdonian National Park. And this connection that we've got with local companies is enlarging day after day, and we're currently engaging with more companies as, for example, the North Wales Tourism Alliance with Seaport and with other companies, which Anglesey Council with Gwynedd Council and their respective tourism representative, to understand what they need from our graduates. This means that once that you graduate from our program, you will have what is needed to work, and to work in North Wales, but not only, to work also beyond North Wales, because we're constantly talking as well to international companies. I come from Italy, and I worked up to 1 year ago in an Italian university where I extended my connections to a lot of Italian companies working in tourism, and I keep talking to them, and I keep comparing what is the situation in North Wales and to what is the situation in Wales, but also to what is the situation in Italy and internationally. For example, in the USA, I've got contacts with colleagues in USA, in Macau, and we keep talking to each other and say, how is the situation there? What is needed? What are companies asking within our programs? And so our program will evolve, and it will change. Up to 25% of our program will change every year if needed to address the needs of the different companies within the tourism context and sector. So the content is very much industry focused, but also the context is very interesting, because you'll be studied in Bangor in North Wales, and Bangor is a live destination case study. So Bangor is a hotspot. It's next to many hotspots and popular places like Chamberies, which is Snowdonia National Park, Beaumaris in Anglesey, Llandudno in Conwy, and Carnarvon in Gwynedd. So they're all at our doorstep. And you also be next to cities like London, 3.5 hours, Manchester, 1.5 hours, and Liverpool, 1.5 hours. And this proximity to important tourism destination means that we can have field trips, and we're going to have field trips to visit the destination. We're also going to have industry speakers and representatives coming into our classes and presenting live cases. You're going to work on cases as well. What is the career and employability? What do we foresee our graduates to work in and to work as? Destination managers and marketers. Of course, there will be a ladder to be a full destination manager, but working within the destination management to become destination managers and marketers. Managers of tourism associations, as much as managers and marketers of tourism attractions, from castles to national parks to zoos, for example. Tourism planners within different county councils, within different town or municipality councils that there are, marketer of hotel chains and consortia, marketer of conventions and visitors bureaus and convention centers, and managers of convention centers or planners of convention centers, consultant for a wide range of tourism companies, but also entrepreneurs of tourism companies and attractions. Through the years, I've worked in tourism academia for more than 15 years, and I've seen that a lot of the graduates, a lot of our graduates are working then in their family businesses and are basically entrepreneurs, or some of them set up their own company in tourism. You could also become a holiday representative, a tour guide, or a travel agent, but also said before, you also would be able to become a manager or to have a managerial position in other sectors, because you're going to have this fundamental knowledge of theories and models used in management and business. Here I give you some examples. For example, one of my graduates at the University of Bolzano in Italy, where I worked before, he became responsible person of digitalization at the regional tourism board. Estelle, for example, she became area management for Switzerland at Booking.com. Again, Elena, she went on, she did a master and she became team manager at Agoda, an online travel agency. And Elena, she became product manager at TUI. TUI is the biggest tour operator in Europe. But also other sectors. For example, Julian also graduated in tourism management from the same university where I worked before. He became a consultant at a local bank. Irene, she became media marketing specialist at La Sportiva. La Sportiva is a company, so she moved out of tourism. It's a company producing shoes, and the importance of these shoes is because they're very good hiking and trekking shoes. A pair of shoes, the cost of a pair of shoes at that company starts from around 200 euros, just to understand the niche she's working in. And Michael, for example, he became head office of a team, of a hockey team, and the hockey team has won many times the National Italian League. And then Lisa, she became a consultant she's global marketing, a corporate finance and strategy at the Boston Consulting Group. So you see, with the tourism management degree, where I taught before and that I developed as well, and I have to develop as well, you can see that you can have different opportunities, both in the tourism sector, but also out of the tourism sector. Let's see our main educational aims. So first of all, we want to give integrated knowledge of business issues so that you will be able to understand the management of tourism destinations and different tourism businesses. In particular, we want to give you to put together an understanding, an integrated understanding of different disciplinary areas like management, marketing, economics, and sustainability. We want to provide you with sound knowledge of theories, models, and tools for the management of tourism businesses, associations, consortia, non-for-profit organizations. We want to ensure that you have a sound knowledge of sustainable tourism development and how new technology can support that. We want to enable our students to have a critical, innovative, creative, entrepreneurial mindset so that you can go out and create a change for tourism. That change has been really asked for during the lockdowns, during COVID. And we want to ensure that students have a range of general, transferable, intellectual and study skills that then you can move out and really do different things in our society, not only in tourism, but have you seen in a bank as well, if you want, in sport, or in a big consulting company, as for example, the Boston Consulting Group. Our learning mode will be different. There will be a mix of lectures, interactive workshops in the class where you're working in different groups. There will be and will have online support material, so you will be able to find all of the slides, other readings that you can do online, and you will have a lot of insights from practitioners across a broad spectrum of different aspects of tourism. All of the companies I'm working with at the moment were bringing them in. So you will see that you will have a course which is just working on case studies, working on different projects or one big project set by a company. And this will be from Wales, but also beyond Wales. So it will be international case studies. So the structure of the program. You're going to start in the first year having mainly this foundation in marketing, in management, in economics, and you're going to have one core module in tourism. You then have the possibility to choose two optional modules, and these two optional modules come from every single module that we are offering at the business school. So you can choose between business analytics, digital marketing, foundation of marketing, introduction to employee life cycle, management enterprise, personal finance and banking, principle of financial accounting, principle of management accounting, and technology marketing. So you can really choose, okay, in my first year, do I want to focus beside the foundations and beside the tourism core module that I've got? Do I want to focus more on marketing, more on finance, more on accounting, more on management? You have the possibility to choose and focus. Why then you want to lead your change? We're going to the second year, and you see that here tourism is coming much more. So you've got a fundamental knowledge, and here we're applying the fundamental knowledge. We're applying tourism onto your fundamental knowledge and skills. So we've got one core module, compulsory module, which is services and experiential marketing, and then we're moving into sustainable management of tourism attractions. Here we're really getting to look at tourism attractions, how to manage tourism attraction. We're going to see how technology and digitalization are transforming tourism and how these can enhance sustainability. And now we're going to have one module, which is tourism practice. In this module, we're bringing in industries. You're going to have a number of guest lectures from the industry, and we're going to go on field trips to see what is happening while learning from best case practices. Again, you're going to have two different optional modules, but you're going to choose, again, from our school, from the business school. And in here you can choose, for example, business information systems, corporate finance, again, leadership. So you're building up on leadership, or you're leading up on marketing. You can do marketing, social media communication, or marketing communications, or you might want to go into marketing research and customer relationship management. So you have different options here. And we have put here as optional modules, the modules of our school, the business school. But if you want, you can also venture out and perhaps pick up a language, or perhaps go into archaeology and history, and then maybe go and work afterwards in a museum. We then have the third year. You will see here that in terms of compulsory modules, instead of having 4 modules, we've got only 3 modules. And that is because the last module, Tourism Applied Project, is going over 2 semesters, 40 credit points. This is a big module that works on applied project. We're going to call each year a different company coming in and giving a challenge. And it's a challenge to you as students to provide a solution to one of their problems. We're going to work during the module on service design thinking, for example. We're going to work on critical analysis. We're going to work on research methods. And during that module that lasts over 2 semesters, you're going to work and solve the challenge that the company has set for you. And you're going to present your solutions to the company as well. So you're going to have a feedback by the company as well of what you have created, and maybe your solution will be adopted by the company. And apart from this big module, which is Tourism Applied Project, you're also going to have enterprise creativity and innovation. So that is really helping you to create, to be innovative, to have creativity in your solution. And then, very important, managing sustainable and resilient tourism destinations. And tourism destinations are the governance of all of the different companies within the tourism value chain. So in that third year, you're really putting everything together. And then again, we've got the optional modules, corporate governance, international business and global competencies, and so forth from the business school. But I have here one module which is in red and is specific for tourism, and is the tourism summer placement. The tourism summer placement is an optional module, so it's not compulsory, but we really encourage you to go out in the industry and work. And what is happening that you're going to work in, or you have the opportunity to work in the industry industry during the summer of yours, between the second and third year, and then come back on the third year to study again in class. And we have the connections for the local, with the local companies, and we're trying to help you out to find the perfect internship that fits your needs. We're at the moment talking to all of the different companies here in North Wales to making sure they would leave always at least 1 or 2 positions for summer places for our graduates. So this is about our program. In terms of entry requirements, we welcome applications from prospective students from all over the corners of the world. And of course, once a year, if you want to do a summer placement, we'll help you to do a summer placement here in North Wales, but also back home if you want to have something more specific. In my years, more than 50 years of teaching and lecturing at bachelor programs and master programs in tourism management, I've seen that quite often students do a summer placement and they get employed by the companies. So it would be a good opportunity for you to show your skills, to show your knowledge back home if you then want to go home and work home and make a change to the tourism industry back home. From India, we normally require 65% overall from the central and state boards, with 70% in English. If your English is below this, then IELTS or another accepted English test would be required. If you have any specific information, please do not hesitate to email international at Bangor UK or contact me, or let us know somehow to get more information. Mature students will also be considered on a case-by-case basis, and also will consider the possibility for you to enter in year 2, but it's going to be a case-by-case basis. And of course, if you don't have those requirements, then we'll also consider you to entry on our international year 0. I'll leave you with my contact details. My email address is the best way to contact me, which is al.osti@Bangor.ac.uk, and I'll leave it now open for questions. And I'll stop sharing my slides now.
Thank you for taking out time and giving us this insightful presentation. Now time for Q&A session. I will call out the question from the YouTube chat box. So the first question is, what are the visa and application deadlines?
Okay, as an international student, the earlier you start, the better it is, because it might take some time to get a visa with the UK government, but we don't have a real deadline. So we accept till August, we accept the possibility for you to apply, but the earlier you do, the better it is. We go through clearing for example, in UCAS, which is the UK system, till August. So, and please do it earlier, but you can still apply in July and August. Better earlier, but you can still do it in July and August.
Is it still possible to apply for a scholarship for January start?
We don't have, for this undergraduate program, we don't have a January start at the moment. We're considering it, so send me an email and I'll get back to you with the January intake, because we are considering having a January intake, but at the Bangor Business School, we tend not to have January intakes for bachelor programs, but get back to me on a mail and I'll get back to you directly if we're starting a January, if we're going to go with a January intake.
What do you think are the pros and cons, if there are any, about getting a master's degree in the UK for international students?
It depends what master course you're going to do. Are you going to do an MBA? Are you going to do a master? Are you going to do a master by research, for example? So it depends, and then it depends in tourism or in other fields. Of course, I can talk about having a master in tourism more than other masters. I have also worked, what I haven't told and said before, I've also worked in Australia at university level for 3 years teaching there, and I could see that similar to here in the UK, once that students, while graduates return to their home countries, will get better jobs and better pay. So normally masters are used for people that are working within the industry, come back, get a master, go back home and get better jobs and better pays. But it's also good if you want even to work here in the UK, and then with a master you have the extra knowledge, the extra understanding of some of the core needs. If you want to do a master in tourism, it is useful to have a master, but I think that a lot of the good jobs will come up also with a bachelor in tourism management. And you can see all of the cases I showed to you from the Free University of Pozzo and Bolzano. They're all, apart from one, the student, the graduate with a master working at Agoda, all the others, they were all managerial positions in tourism with a bachelor in tourism management.
What is the maximum scholarship student can get?
Scholarship from Bangor University, you mean, or what type of scholarships?
Students have not mentioned that, so you can tell about both if possible.
Well, I'm not sure about scholarship. I think the international office might know a little bit more. Please do send me an email. I can just get an email from international, get information from international office in terms of type of scholarships we are offering. There is nothing specific for this tourism program, but it will be a university-wide scholarship in case.
Okay. Is there any assistant available to international students in finding jobs in the UK after graduation or during their studies?
Yes, there is. We've got an employability office. We're working hard as a business school in terms of employability, and there is an employability office and department here at university level that helps our graduates to work during their course with the programs with us, and also to find jobs afterwards. And you can find it on our website as well.
Okay. Is accommodation guaranteed, and how much do students typically pay in rent?
Okay, there is accommodation. We've got a lot of accommodation for students. There are student campuses where you can get a room, and I don't know how much they're paying. There are different. If you want to have that answer, you can send me an email. I can redirect you to all of the information about that. We have an accommodation office as well that helps students to find a house, for example, if they're coming with their families. So if you're coming by yourself without any dependents, you will be able to stay on campus. It's not a problem for that. But if you're coming with your family, you have to find a house outside the campus. We are in the city center, in the town center anyway, so it's just a short stroll, about 10 minutes walk, not even less than 10 minutes. But then the office and the accommodation office will help you out with that.
Okay. Can we get job easily after completing masters in tourist management?
Yes, we are offering a bachelor, but you can also find jobs in master after completing master programs. Good jobs will come also with a bachelor, but better jobs will come with a master. It's always very good to have a bachelor, have some years of experience, come back, do a master, and then proceed with your career after the master.
Okay. So I have covered all the questions from YouTube chat box. Thank you for answering all the questions so well. Do you want to share any final words?
No, well, my final words is, if you're excited about tourism and if you want to learn more about tourism, come and study tourism management at Bangor University. It's very much practical oriented. You're going to learn all the theories, all of the models that are transferable skills to go in other sectors. But then when we come and apply to tourism, we ask the industry, we ask the companies working in the tourism sector to come in and give you all of that specific knowledge and skills. So come here, get in contact with me if you've got some more questions. Do not hesitate to send me an email. I'll try to reply as soon as possible, and I'll try to connect you with all of the different offices if you have more, if you have broader questions on the university in general.
Thank you so much, everyone, for your valuable time. All the audience, if you have any further questions, please feel free to contact SI UK India office. For more update, do follow us on our social media handles. Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.